Hello everyone, myself Manish Darak and Department of CSE JVAT. My seminar topic is Blockchain with IoT, Benefits, Challenges and Future Direction under the guidance of Professor Chaitra GV, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE JVAT. These are the contents which I cover in this seminar. Introduction, related work, centralized IoT architecture, blockchain technology, characteristics of blockchain, how blockchain works, blockchain with IoT, benefits of integrating blockchain with IoT, challenges of blockchain with IoT, future research direction of blockchain and IoT, conclusion, references. Let's start with the concept of introduction. Blockchain and IoT. First, we know that what is blockchain. A blockchain is a chain of blocks which contains information. The data which is stored inside a block depends on the type of block. For example, a Bitcoin block contains information about the sender and receiver, number of the Bitcoins to be transferred. The first block is called Genius block and another block is contained a chain reaction. Next, what do you mean by IoT? IoT is a system of interrelated computing device, mechanical and digital machines, objects, animals, or people that are provided with unique identification or unique identifiers and the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human to human or human to computer interaction is called IoT. Let's start up related work. Some people how they related that work. Like IBM company, one of the IBM company, they integrated of blockchain with IoT have invested a few papers. For instance, the IBM autonomous decentralized peer-to-peer telemetry. The project leverages the blockchain to build a distributed network device. Like that, another important for blockchain in healthcare IoT application as introduced as solution for many challenges facing healthcare sector. For example, Gupta Atal have proposed an approach to explain how blockchain could enable and some or more scenarios is to store only metadata about health medical events like that blockchain it will related to real world work. Let's go start with a centralized IoT architecture. The mainly centralized IoT architecture composed on four layers. That four layers are application layer, service support layer, network layer, device layer. Application layer it's have IoT application, service support and application support have generic support capability and specific support capability. Network layer consists network capability and transfer capabilities. Device layer like device capabilities and gateway capabilities. It will from manageability capability to send security capability. The general management capability it's have some layer to transfer through gateway to security capabilities and specific manageability capabilities to send network layer for some person to person for security. It will go through gateway capabilities from the device one device to another device using IoT application and application layer to transfer security capabilities of specific security capabilities. Let's go concept of blockchain technology. Blockchain technology consists of two main elements, transaction and block. Transaction, what do you mean by transaction? Transactions are the action generated by the participants in the systems. What do you mean by blocks? Blocks are the record transaction and make sure that the correct sequence have not been tampered with. Example, block 0, block 1 and block M. The first transaction will go to block 1 and at next block M. Like the transaction 1, transaction 2, transaction 3 up to transaction N will go for block 1 then block N. From there are many connection to network. From block 0 is also one of network, also is a node, and block 1 also node, and block M is also node. Block 0 is the user, block M is the receiver. Let's start characteristics of blockchain. Characteristics of blockchain mainly have the immutability, decentralization, anonymity, better security, increased capacity. First, we know that what are the characteristics. What do you mean that characteristics? Immutability. What do you mean by immutability? Immutability is like building a immutable ledger, one of the key value of the blockchain. All centralized database can be corrupted and commonly requires trust in a third party to keep information integrity. Once you have agreed on a transaction and record it, it can never be changed. Is all are immutability. Decentralization. What do you mean by decentralization? The lack of centralization control ensures scalability and robustness by using resources of all participating nodes and eliminating many to one traffic flows, which is turn decrease latency and solve the problem of single point of failure that exists centralized model. In centralized model, it's have single point of failure, but in decentralized, it turns the decreases of latency and solve the problem of single point of failure. Next, anonymity. Anonymity. What do you mean by anonymity? Anonymity provides the efficient way of hiding the identity of the user and keep their identity private. Means it's like security that user can identity and identifies its own private, it will be stored. Better security. Better security is for important in blockchain because it is the no single point of failure to shut down entire network. So it's the one of the better security. Increased capacity. Capacity will be increased, one of the significant things about blockchain technology that increases the capacity of an entire network. Have thousands of network computer working together all can greater power than a few centralized servers. Is increase the capacity. Let's start a next concept how blockchain works. The main blockchain works in distributed ledger. Suppose we have take four nodes A, B, C, D is the four nodes who wants to use the blockchain to transfer money as it known as Bitcoin. To transfer money from one node to another node, there will be no intermediate third party to make the transfer process, which is the idea of decentralization. Therefore, if a node A want to transfer money to node B, it will be transferred directly. Suppose node A wants to send Bitcoin of 5 to node B, then a transfer will be created and verified by all other nodes in the network included it in the ledger. In addition, if node B wants to send Bitcoin 10 to node D, then transaction will be created and verified by all other nodes in the network to include it in the ledger. This will be same scenario when node C wants to send Bitcoin 20 to node D. All transaction chained together in what is called ledger. This ledger is distributed across all nodes in network to make sure that all nodes have same copy of version from the ledger. That's why it's called distributed ledger, and it will store in all the ledger of the node. Let's start with blockchain with IoT. Comparison between blockchain and IoT. Blockchain is a decentralized. Already I told decentralized. It's a solve for single failure point. Resource consuming. It consumes all the resource from node 1 to node n. Block mining is time consuming. This time consuming is more because it need to store all the block. Scale purely with large network. Yeah, obviously it's the large network from it sends from one device to another device. It's secure more. High bandwidth consumption. Obviously high bandwidth is required as better security also there. In IoT is centralized. Resource are restricted. Some resources are restricted. Demands low latency. Latency are low. And it contains large number of devices. And devices limited of bandwidth and resources. And it's the security is one of the big challenges of IoT. Benefits of integrating blockchain with IoT. We already know that the characteristics of blockchain with IoT. Like that, some benefits are also there. What are those? Publicity, decentralization, resiliency, security, speed, cost saving, immutability, anonymity. You know that publicity. All participants have the ability to see the all the transaction and all blocks. Each participant adds its own ledger. The content of the transaction is protected by participants' private key. So even all participants can see them, they are protected. The IoT is dynamic system in which all connected devices can share information together and at the same time protecting user privacy. Decentralization. Decentralization already I told what are the useful of decentralization like that single point failure of current centralized IoT architecture and it's the must verify the transaction in order to approve it and add it distributed ledger. These are decentralized. It is a very useful compared with IoT and with IoT. Resiliency. Resiliency is the each node has its own copy of the ledger that contains all transactions that have ever made in the network. So the blockchain is better able to withstand attack even if one node was compromised. The blockchain would be maintained by other node. Have a copy of data each node in the IoT will improve the information needs. However, it introduces new processing and storage issues. Security, all we know that blockchain is have very good security because it's stored each node of the block. Speed. Speed is a little bit slow in blockchain. A blockchain transaction is distributed across the network in minutes and will be processed at any time throughout the day. Cost saving. Existing IoT solutions are expensive because of the high infrastructure and maintenance cost associated with centralized architecture, large server farms, and network equipment. The total amount of communication that will have to be handled when there are tens of billions of IoT devices will increase the cost substantially. Immutably, all we know that what are the immutability is the ledger. Ledger is the one of the main advantage of the blockchain technology, and it's the IoT will increase security and privacy, which are the major challenges just in this technology. Anonymity. Anonymity is the to process the transaction. Both buyer and seller use anonymous and unique address number, unique identification, or unique identifier, which keep their identity privately. Let's start challenges of blockchain with IoT. Some challenges are very important of challenges in blockchain with IoT. Scalability, storage, processing power and time, naming and discovery, lack of skills, legal and compliance of challenging blockchain with IoT. Scalability. Scalability is issues in the blockchain might lead be centralized, which is casting a shadow over the future of the cryptocurrency. The blockchain scales purely as the number of nodes in the network increases. This issue is too serious as IoT networks are expected to contain a large number of nodes. Next is processing and power time. The processing power and time needed to achieve encryption for all the objects including blockchain system. IoT systems have different types of devices which have very different computing capabilities, and not all of them will be able to run the same encryption algorithm at the required speed, because the blockchain is the one of the big block. It's need some power and time to encrypt the code or encrypt the message. So we'll be using the encryption algorithm at the required speed. Storage. One of the main benefits of blockchain is that it eliminates the need of central to store transaction and device ID. But the ledger has to be stored the nodes themselves. The distributed ledger will increase in size, time passes, and with increasing number of nodes in the network. As said earlier, IoT devices have low computational resources and very low storage capacity. In storage, lack of skills. The blockchain technology is still new concept for few people, so large of knowledge and skills required about blockchain, especially for banking and other application which are using how work blockchain, and it's a lot lack of understanding required to public and awareness of the blockchain. Legal and compliance. The blockchain is a new technology that will have the ability to connect different people from different countries without having any legal or compliance code to follow, which is a scenario issue for both manufacturers and service provider. This challenge will be the major barrier for adopting blockchain in many business and application. Naming and discovery. Naming and discovery is the one not been designed for the IoT, meaning that nodes were not meant for find each other in network. Example, Bitcoin application in which IP address of the some sender are embedded within the Bitcoin client and used by nodes to build the network topology. These approaches will not work for the IoT, as IoT device will keep moving all the time, which will change the topology continuously. Let's start about the concept of future research direction. In that future research direction, we have some concept smart contracts. Smart contracts are the script stored on the blockchain. They are so powerful because of their flexibility. They can encrypt and store data securely, restrict access to data to only desired parties, and then been programmed to utilize the data within self-executing logical workflow of operation between parties. Some of the improved security of IoT data to require research direction. What are those? Like, are the smart contracts are able to execute all the event function in billions? How the contracts will respond to changing environment condition of the IoT? It is a dynamic system. Is the appropriate platform to implement smart content within IoT system? These are some future research direction is required for smart contracts. Next is regulatory laws. Regulatory laws are the procedure created by authority and local administrative agency to define legal way of working with a product of technology with a certain country or region. As said earlier, the blockchain is new technology which has not any legal or compliance code to follow. So we need of the legal and compliance for blockchain within IoT. So what are the regularity rules that ensure the best practices of blockchain in the IoT globally? Let's discuss some more future research direction. Security. For all the new technologies, security is the most important. So security is challenging topic that the attention of researchers and organization. Some research questions that need to be addressed regarding security. What is the optimum platform for IoT to integrate with blockchain? How to overcome low capabilities of IoT device to provide a secure IoT system? So still more working on security. IOTA. IOTA is a new generation of public and distributed ledger that uses a concept called Tangle. The Tangle is a new data structure that based on a directed acyclic graph DAG. IOTA provide an efficient, secure, lightweight and real-time transaction without fees. It is open source, decentralized cryptocurrency designed specifically for the IoT. As IoT is designed specifically for the IoT, it may be more appropriate to different IoT application. However, it's still under construction. The research questions that need to be addressed regarding IoT are: what are the appropriate decentralization technology for the IoT, blockchain or IoT? What are the major challenges with IoT? Some are more challenges, some are the more concept needed to explain IoT, so they need to future research organization. Finally, we came conclusion of the blockchain with IoT. The IoT technology has extended the reach to every home in the universe. It has the ability to connect everybody, object to the internet. Through cheap sensor, a lot of information can be collected from the surrounding environment that results in improving our life. However, current IoT architecture that based on server client model has many issues that need to be addressed, especially scalability and security. One of the solutions to address IoT issues is blockchain. Blockchain can provide distributed peer-to-peer communication network where non-trusting nodes can interact with each other without a trusted intermediary in a verifiable manner. In this paper, I provided an overview integrating blockchain with IoT and highlights of benefits and challenges. The discussion also focused on future research direction. At the end, I can conclude that integrating blockchain with IoT can bring many advantages that improve many of IoT issues, but at the same time, it introduces new challenges that should be addressed. There is still need more research to investigate implementing blockchain with IoT in more details. Here, my seminar, some references I took that H.F. Atlam, E. Karafilosoki, A. Stancio, A. Banafa, Nirik Shetty. These are some more peoples, and these are the main peoples I reference take that all the overview and did my seminar. I start from introduction at the end. I concluded with the references also blockchain and IoT. Blockchain and IoT is the new topic. It can't easily to understand everything. It needs some more challenges and more times you go through that. I try to best to showcase what are the IoT, what are the blockchain, how blockchain works, how IoT works, and everything. I try to myself best to showcase the what are there in all the concept from beginning to end. I hope everyone i- i- understand this concept. So thank you everyone. Thank you my guiding teacher, assistant professor Chaitra ma'am. Thank you so much.